That's crazy. And even like to go back on what you said, like I feel like as Black people, we try not to have like the stereotypes against ourselves. But remember how you said like with Africa, like your ex asked you, like, what do you think when you think of Africa? And I was the same way kind of as a kid. I remember when I was like 8 or 9 and I was watching like probably like Maury Povich with my grandma or something stupid like that. And a commercial came on. It was like Visit Africa. And it was all like these buildings and like beaches. And I was like, that's Africa? Yeah. Like Africa has, and it was so fucked up now. Think about it. Like I had no idea as a kid, like Africa was like, had high infrastructure, you know, they had like beaches and they had like wealth. Cause like Africa portrayed to us as.
They want us to think it's huts and
it's literally, they think of it as all poverty. We think of the continent as being all impoverished, which is not the case. Like you said, like Lagos has probably never been, but I've seen pictures. I have a lot of friends who are Nigerian and they say like they go to Nigeria every December and like, yo, like Lagos is like the place to be. Like it's prettier than Toronto. It's an amazing city. Yeah. Even when I went to Mexico, I was in Cancun and like I didn't expect Mexico to be like, also my geography is terrible because I didn't realize how fucking big Mexico was.
Yeah.
So,
to be fair, that's by design. Like, yeah.
I had no idea that Mexico was so fucking big by like land mass, right? Yeah. So obviously, like, I knew I was going on vacation. I didn't know, like, obviously Mexico's not an island. But even, like, talking to the locals, like, our drivers, for example, he was like, you know, he was from Mexico City. And he was like, yeah, Mexico City is about a day away from here. And I was like, a day what? And he was like, a day drive. And I was like, Mexico City is 24 hours away from Cancun? Like that.
Wild.
Yeah, that is big. Yeah.
And then he was saying from, I forgot where it was, either from Cancun to Tijuana or Mexico City to Tijuana. It was like a 4-day drive. Did you hit that?
I'm so sorry. I reached for the wine.
That went perfect.
Yeah, it was like a 4-day drive. And I was like, that's crazy. So me to go in Mexico, I didn't expect Mexico to be as elevated as it was, especially in Cancun. I know Cancun is like a tourist area, but I've been to Dominican Republic and it was very like, there's a lot of agriculture in Dominican. There wasn't a lot of like buildings in Punta Cana. It was very like a lot of like fields, like wild animals, a lot of cows in Punta Cana. So when I went to Mexico and we went off the resort to the strip, it looked like fucking Vegas. Like I was shocked. Like I was like, oh shit, like there were like all these bright lights and there was like a huge Louis Vuitton store and a Zara and an H&M and a Cartier store. And I was like why do I feel like it just felt weird? Like I don't know what I picture, but I didn't picture like
you pictured yellow filter.
Yeah. I just pictured
you pictured yellow like
and it was so
do it all
weird.
The time. Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, I'm like I'm walking down this strip and there's like people taking pictures.
Narcos.
People like, yeah. I watched too much Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because no, deadass, because I'm picturing like, you know, like they're gonna be like kind of like we're like in the desert. You know, like in Breaking Bad, they're like in the desert. And they always meet up in the desert. Yeah. But that's what I'm picturing. I watched so much fucking Snowfall. Like I'm watching, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I watched it. And I got there, I'm like, whoa. Like this is not Snowfall. This is not Breaking Bad. Like we're in like fucking Vegas. And also, I also kind of felt ignorant in myself. But I was like, wow, like see how like your condition if you live in like technically Mexico is North America, but like you live in like the States and Canada, you expect to go somewhere foreign and like, you know, they're gonna be a little bit less than you, or you're not gonna see as much as you. And I'm driving down like really nice roads, palm trees, crazy buildings, crazy shopping centers, and I'm like, fuck, I feel like a dumbass. Like I feel like so stupid.
We'll circle back to this later on because I want to talk about your Mexico trip and everything.
Yeah.
But there's a TV show on right now that's really making me feel this way. It's
Squid Game.
That is just like, oh man, there's so many different like the cinematography, storytelling, and writing and everything. It's like, oh, there's so many different ways to do it. And I've been so tunnel vision on like the American way of like how we're gonna talk about that more. But yeah. Just being there like makes you realize, oh, the way that this was portrayed to us, you know, was not correct.
It's terrible. I had a great time though, but like I said, it was definitely, it was shocking myself to see that. I'm like, I don't know what I expected, but it was not like
yellow filter.
Yeah, I had like Breaking Bad filter, Snowfall filter. It was
people hate it. Like you walk like, yo, why is the sky so clear?
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible, but regardless, I had a great time.
Yeah, and actually, to be honest with you, Squid Game kind of opened my eyes to that too. I didn't realize that Korea was like such a beautiful country in itself, but I also didn't realize how bad of a debt problem they had.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm only on the first episode, but like they said my man was 360 million won in debt.
Damn, say woo!
Come on. I actually like paused. I think that's like, I don't know, like 10 minutes into the episode, I'm like, yo, I am deeply disturbed right now.
But the thing is, it was funny because Because you know how fucking Twitter gets. People get stupid on Twitter. But
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
was like, yo, I Googled 10,000 or 100,000 won, like the conversion between won and like USD. And it was like $60 US or like $100
Wow.
US. So I think also I don't know how much won. So I think the grand prize ended up to be like 45.6 billion won, right?
I think that translates to 38 mil in USD.
Bro,
And I know it's almost half a million Canadian. Which I'm like, y'all doing all this for I mean, like, you might need it, but y'all doing all this
You had
for
the
half.
option to came back.
listen,
Yeah.
Some of these people were in debt for like, one of these guys, they said one of these guys were like $1 billion won in debt.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
That's so
I
crazy.
was like, that is $1 billion of anything in debt is a wild number.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You think about like the guy with like the whole like, yo, this is Jeff Bezos like net worth, and it's just all like a pile of rice, and I'm just like, debt in that rice is
No, actually, that's
Yeah.
literally what it is. But yeah, that show's a really good show for so many reasons. I remember someone tweeted, like, if you're not Korean, this show's not for you.
Oh, I seen
And
you
I was
did-
like,
yeah.
first of all, it's on my Netflix, so it is for me. And second of all, I'm sure there's other people of other races or ethnicities that can understand, poverty gaps in capitalism. So I don't think it's only for Korean people. So whoever is scared to watch it based on I mean, if you can read the subtitles. I mean, you can watch the English stuff if you want to. I think it's really bad though. I watched it with subtitles. But it's a great show just to understand, like I said, like the debt problem in South Korea and like the gap between the rich and the poor. And I've watched Parasite, which is another great Korean film.
Yeah.
And same thing, right? You don't realize the huge gap between the rich and the poor, like physically, mentally, financially, like the gap is crazy.
So I always get angry when I think of Parasite when she's like, yo, what's that smell? I'm just like, I just want
Right?
to reach back. And
Right?
like,
And it's
yeah.
nuts. And we think, like I said, we live in North America. So we obviously see the gap here, but I don't think it's as drastic as the way it is
getting
over
there,
there.
though.
It is getting there.
They're really trying to do it. Like I read about the inequality in Hong Kong and in Korea and in Singapore, and like the one thing I always notice that these countries all have in common: massive condos on top of condos on top of condos
Right.
on top of condos. They want to like dilute what home ownership actually means to like the middle class, so that they could widen that gap. And like,
Wow.
Toronto's on its way.
Toronto's on its way.
man.
Right.
Like I see, I see it all the time. I get upset when I think about it. I can't remember the last time they built just a regular apartment building.
Right.
And like there's a housing crisis, we can't afford it, and it's like there's like a little school, like in Liberty Village here. I saw a place going up for like, they're like, yo, we're building a new condo. I'm like, where?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Literally where?
Where in Liberty Village is there space to build another condo?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we're gonna knock down the Harveys over yonder, and like,
Oh my God.
we're gonna put the condo over there. And I'm just like, yo, like, build an apartment building.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
Another play that they kind of really shed light on in that show is the kind of like the lives of migrant workers.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
the character Abdul Ali, I think his name is. I saw a lot of people going back and forth about that on Twitter too. You know,
That guy's a hero.
yeah,
That guy's
Yeah.
a hero.
shout
You'll
out to
see
him.
what happens to him.
Yeah, because you're on episode 1, and then another
Listen,
thing.
I already knew the brown dude was not winning.
That's fair. That's fair to know.
Are you a good person? Oh,
Yeah, no,
we
you're not
gonna cry.
Yeah, literally. But he was
Wait,
too good
you
to.
just went, yo! Oh
Yeah,
my
once
god!
you introduce his character, like, yeah, he's too nice. He's out of here. I don't know what episode it is, but he's out of here. I knew he was out of here.
You're on episode 1 though, so we can kind of break down that. I think something that was really interesting is like the scene that is a lot, right? Red light, green light, right? Is
Red
like
light, green light.
that. What I realized too is
With
like
the eyes.
an American show wouldn't ever do that because that
It's
is
disturbing.
but that's like closer to their reality about, mass shootings and things like that. So that's a very real thing that like kind of hits home to American
damn.
audiences,
Right.
So that looks
Yeah.
really crazy when you see people running and they're all getting picked off like in that
But
scene
that
the way it
happens
is.
almost. No, I wouldn't say almost all the time, but I mean almost all the time in
But
the
it's
States.
why I think only, not only, but like a Korean show is able to kind of do that without the like, oh shit, are
Right,
people going
right.
to be really bothered by it? And it's disturbing to watch, but it's.
Yeah, because that shooting scene, I was like, oh my god, oh my God. Oh.
But it is the like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
This is the show.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why. I wasn't like, oh my God, when people were getting gunned down.
Really?
I was like, oh my God, when this dude was like, yo, just stand behind somebody, you'll be good.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, you a super villain, bro.
Yo,
like,
yeah. But the thing is, people on Twitter were like acting like, oh, like, oh, Squid Game's like, y'all so dumb. Y'all ran. I'm like, okay, put yourself in the shoes. Yeah. People are acting like, so even
hold
like.
Up. Black people run when just a little bang.
Thank you.
We're gone.
Thank you.
As soon as one person runs, we all run.
We see people running,
so
we just
people
start
are like,
running.
oh, that's so dumb. Y'all would have ran. And I'm like, think about it. You have no idea what you signed up for, right? These people had no idea what they signed up for. They don't know how they're going to be eliminated, air quotations, whatever.
You don't know what that means.
You get
until
put
red
into
light,
this
green light.
fucking weird ass, childish looking room. There's a 12-foot doll in front of you. And all of a sudden, you see someone get their head blown off. What your first instinct isn't to run? Of course it is. Exactly. Or at least to duck or move or shake.
Honestly, I probably would have left. I probably would have tried leaving after I saw the doll. I realized I'm looking. I'm like, I think that's a little too late. That was after they gave.
Oh yeah, the doors were closed.
Yeah.
So where were you going?
I'd be dead. That's just it.
Well, half the people ended up dead from that first. Spoilers. Half people ended up dead from that first game alone. They went from like 400 people to like 200 people.
Yeah.
Except for the old guy with the tumor. He was just like...
Oh, yeah. You'll see about
You gonna see.
You gonna see. Yeah, you gonna see. But he was having the time of his life.
I'm like, honestly...
He was like, literally.
I was talking to my partner. I was like, yo, this guy's living his life because he's like, yo, I'm dying slow or I die fast.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna have fun.
What has he seen? Yeah, this is a walk in the park. You're skipping and lollygagging.
No, actually, I think that was one of the best moments of the episode because I'm like, yo, this guy's just going for it. He was the only one. They all like stopped. And he was like, and go, and he's just like running.
But hey, without getting too much into it, you kind of
understand why. You understand why he was doing what he was doing. Because when you realize the plot twist, you're like, God damn, like that's why.
Yeah.
But I think Squid Game, like I said, it's not only for Korean people. I think Korean like film is something I want to get into more because I really enjoyed. Stuff like I really enjoyed Parasite and I really enjoyed Squid Game. And someone did recommend Alice in Borderland. I heard it wasn't as good as Squid Game, but it's still good. So I try not to go into it comparing it to Squid Game, but I heard it's still another good one. So I'm just like going to like my Korean bag of film.
I've heard of Battle Royale as well as like a very like similar like on path with Squid Games. So like
Squid Game.
Sorry, yeah.
Someone like you niggas always put the S on shit. My mom does that. Zara's, Nordstrom's. I'm like, bruh, why do people always put the S on shit?
No, but like, why is that like kind of like irking? You know,
it irritates the fuck out of me. My mom's like, yeah, you want to Zara's? I'm like, what is Zara's?
She just put.
Tell me, what
like
is
if somebody
Zara's?
said like, oh, you're gonna go record your podcasts today? It's just like, yo, shut up, yo.
But my mom only does it for like brand names or like store names.
Tommy Hilfigers?
Yeah. Sephora's? What the fuck are you talking about? Where is this S?
Where
is this S coming from? Why do you keep putting this S on shit?
Yo, my dad does this.
Oh my God, it drives me insane.
To be fair though, like there are multiple games being played. So
but the main game is called Squid Game. When you watch it, you'll figure it out. But the main game is called Squid Game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Game.
Okay.
One.
All right.
Drives me fucking nuts. I'm like, where are all these S's coming from? All these plurals.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, yo, Shorty that was in it, the girl that everyone's thirsting over.
Oh, I love her.
She started with 400,000 followers when that show came out. I think she has 15 million followers now.
Good for
and
her.
she got the Drake certification.
Did she?
She got the Drake. She got the little Dirk cosign.
Yo, there's
a lot of people.
Does she even know who these people are?
Apparently, okay. Listen, so I don't know if this is true or not.
That's a joke.
The tweet is a joke.
The Vibes Cartel thing.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Oh!
It's a joke. I was like, I saw that and I was like, yo, no.
It got me on the Young Nudie one. The Young Nudie one got me at first, and then I kept seeing it.
Yo, I love how you both knew. You're like, no,
that's not it. Because it was Vibes, and I was like, yo, Vibes is the closest thing we got to Shakespeare, but like,
I thought it was real. I'm like, yo, I think I fell asleep. I went to I'm gonna look up the Vogue interview. Like, yo, she really brought up Vibes Cartel in the Vogue interview. That's nuts.
I saw her Vogue picture. And I was like, she's not listening to Vibes Cartel.
Oh, that's so
Yo,
funny. Oh my god.
I wish it was true too, because I was like, it would put a whole different spin on how I'm watching the show right now.
Yeah. But what's it called? Apparently they were saying like Drake just recently followed her. Lil Durk posted her on his story because he was watching it. He was like, yo, this shit's sick.
That,
yeah, Lil Durk posted up, but I don't know if she knows who these people are, but I hope she knows that she's getting some crazy like rapper co-signs for her acting and everything. But she's crazy when you like move on in the show. Like
she was wilding.
She's a main character. Like she's a great actress. She's gonna go places.
She bad as
She's gonna go places, and she's very pretty. Yeah, she's very
gorgeous.
pretty.
When she looked at the guy and he was like, "Yo, why did you run away?" She's like, "Nah, I went independent." I was like, "Oh, she cold blooded." Looked him dead in the eye and went, "No, bro, like, man, I cut you. Like, I'm gone."
But no, she's good. The show is good. I think everyone should watch. People are late, and obviously you're gonna see the spoilers on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram. Like it's gonna happen. The show's been out for almost 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
About
to be the most popular show on Netflix ever, right?
In all 83 countries that Netflix is in, it's been #1 in all 83 countries. But I think is a crazy accomplishment.
Yes. Yeah.
So I hope.
And the guy that wrote it 10 years ago.
In 2009.
Put it in his drawer. No one wanted it. And just now, like, it's becoming popping. Which I think is supposed to be told as some sort of, like, inspirational, don't give up on your work type thing. But I think it's also just an outline of, like, the crushing standards of, like, film, and 100%. Getting something green lit is just awful.
It's not even just film. It's everywhere.
Yes.
Right.
And it's like minority voices are always taking
precisely.
We're always taking like second or third. We're never like prioritized. Like I look at Hollywood. I'm like, yo, it's and I say this as a blurred Marvel fan. Like it's Marvel movie, superhero movie, or like a remake that nobody asked for.
Nobody asked for.
And like
I hate it.
Last 3 great things that I watched actually all came out of Korea. Parasite. I just got on Kim's Convenience.
Okay.
So when they're saying like Appa, I'm like, oh yeah, Appa. And now Squid Game, because I could tell like Squid Game, like I could tell it was gonna be something really good because just from the first episode, the nuance in the writing, like his daughter. Like the subtle looks his daughter was giving him.
Right.
You know, seeing how like his gambling addiction kind of put him in. And then like I thought it was really brilliant because they set him up to look like a loser who's gambling and like lost all of his money. But you find out he's a dude that tried to open up a restaurant and shit didn't go his way. And he's just 360 million won in debt.
Million won.
I'd be gambling too. Like
yeah. I think the show's great.
Yeah.
And like I said, like you mentioned, even with like American film now, like it's just not giving what it used to get. Same with music. I feel like music now is not. I'm like, bro, like
all sounds the same.
All sounds the same, or it's just like quick, like 2-minute hits. Like there's no like verse, chorus, verse. Like there's no like actual like I want like a hook. I want a verse. I want you know what I mean. We don't have.
There's
that.
a heavily reliance on samples, like old samples that are still relevant enough that like you remember it when you hear it.
Well, someone
like
did
Lotto
sing
has a song out like that. That's
she did the Mariah Carey Fantasy, which was also sampled before that, but like
Lotto
still
was a bad match for that song.
It was. I don't think she did. I think it should have went to Doja Cat. Everyone said, but I do agree. I think it should have.
Do we blame Saweetie because it worked for her twice in a row?
No, we blame Doja Cat because she's like,
but she does it really good.
Like these are all Doja clones.
Yeah. Yes, very much so.
I think Doja Cat came out and everyone was like, we gotta do what she's doing.
Yeah.
And then they end up with all these like weirdo like rappers who are like doing stuff that just doesn't match what they should have been doing.
And this is my resume brain working again.
Right.
But like Doja Cat's a perfect example of how you need to double down on what makes you authentic in your career to really stand out from anybody else. Like the more, I always say this, like specialists and people with a niche get paid more than generalists. Right. And if you're trying to make as much money as you want in your career, on your resume, market yourself as a specialist in some sort of like way or form. For me, for example, I'm a recruiter and my specialty is, you could say, recruiting for Black people or sourcing like for underrepresented groups. Right. So that always will give me an edge over somebody who's just like, yeah, I'm just a regular recruiter. So Doja doubled down on her being weird. Like, the fact that she popped off of Moo.
That's what I've been saying.
It's the weird.
I'm a cow.
Yeah,
But the way that she went Moo and you had that transition, you're like, that little harmony that she had, you're like, yo, there's no, like she's
doing something here.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Like, and then she just doubled down on it and it was great.
She beat the feed allegations. So
you think she beat the feed allegations?
She did.
Look at her. She beat the feed allegations. Look at her now. Look at her career. She beat the allegation.
She did. Sometimes I'd be looking at her, I'd be like, yo, you were just showing feet in the chat room.
You're getting a hard R and showing feet.
You're showing feet in
which
the chat
are
rooms.
allegations, you know.
Like,
So.
I was like, oh man, I love this song, but she was showing feet in them chat rooms.
Yeah. No, I think she beat them though.